Toot. Yes, welcome. And if you are home, wherever you find yourself, I'd like to say welcome to a splendid new edition of the program Diaspora Talk here on KMTV Creative Minds Television. We are everywhere. That's why we are right here. Let me take our team and we'll be back very, very shortly right after the team to kick off on today's edition of the program. Don't go away.
When the issues of Liberia hit the news,
what is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
the Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora Talk is back on your screens on KMTV. In fact, the United Party is not cohesive. Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Joan Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blending the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without a diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call some numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk. Don't miss out.
And I don't miss out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on Creative Minds Television, KMTV. We are everywhere. That's why we are right here on this Friday. It's the weekend's edition of the program Diaspora Talk. And it happens to be the Founder Friday in a month of December and in the year 2023, and of course the final edition of the program Diaspora Talk for this year. It's been a wonderful one with all of you, and I believe my team also feel excited to be here this afternoon. My name is Cyrus McGee. I'm here with my co-presenters, co-host, that is Jackson George, former Honorary Consul General of the Liberian Consulate here in Minnesota and the Midwest. And of course, Nathan Charles is also the one of the co-hosts here on the program. And Nathan is also the CEO of the Nathan Charles Insurance Agency, LLC, a new one birth this year indeed. Guys, welcome. It's good to have you on this final edition of the program Diaspora Talk for the year 2023. Let's start with you, Jackson.
Thank you, Cyrus. I think the year has been a great year. 2023 is coming to an end, and hopefully 2024 will usher in a better Liberia.
Nathan.
And now we welcome the new year, filled of new things that have never been. So it's a new year we're about to see, and we hope that, hey, all of our plans do not wait until today or tomorrow to start designing your new year plans. Write it down, hurry, before the year end and work towards that.
But I know we will talk about resolution comes next year, but do you think people live through resolutions nowadays of what happening? I mean, what the things should happen?
I think with everything happening so fast, people don't normally sit back like we used to do a long time ago, write down our resolution for the next year. But I think it's a good thing to have it's like a business plan. You write a resolution, it's like a business plan, and then you follow through that resolution. So the things that you did not do, you can put it to the following year, but then you learn from what you've done. So I think resolutions are good, and I think we should go back to the fact of writing resolutions.
And I think Liberia had a very great resolution that the country lived through, having a peaceful election.
It was just one.
It was just one.
People needed a job, people needed food on the table. Again, anything that is not written down, it's just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's why professional people with serious mind, always have their thoughts written down.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing too. So there are a lot happening. Nathan, you will run us through the major issues of the day, but we continue to see our hearts out to the victims and the families of those who lost their lives in the total ties incident. I believe the death toll is already about 50 now. About 50 people died as a result of that. We will talk about that and what other issues. I know
looking at Frank Musadin, President Weah appointed him to the Supreme Court bench. Days for his end of his presidency. Looking at the latest fire victim, as What's going on with the Painesville City Corporation? Employees they're asking for 5 months arrears, and they blocked the entrance today. And let's look at the issue of Royal El Morak. People traveling for the festive season, they are complaining at the service there by Royal El Morak. And we'll look at LIBA, USA, their achievement, goals, and setbacks. Jackson George is here.
He's here. He will wear 2 hats today. The head of LIBA as well, and I believe he's perfectly seated to give us what a LIBA made her own resolution as well, and what are some of the challenges going into 2024. But let's kick up with this huge one: the appointment of Councillor Frank Musa Dean. Musa Dean firstly came to the limelight when he served as the lead lawyer representing the Coalition for Democratic Change after the 2017 elections, when the late Charles Bronskill, Joseph Newman Boakai, non-president-elect, and other people felt that they needed to they needed to challenge the result. That was where we saw Frank Musa there. I know he was a top lawyer at the time. He was on several different cases that he won. So he was there representing the CDC, whether it was before the NEC or the Supreme Court or whatever. He was there. After that, we heard the name surface in government as Minister of Justice of the Republic of Liberia by President Weah. He was confirmed by the Liberian Senate. 6 years he's been in this position. On his exit feet, the president is now nominating or has nominated Frank Musa Dean to the Supreme Court following a letter from Councillor Joseph Nangwe, Associate Justice Joseph Nangwe, who informed the president that, I cannot continue on the bench of the Supreme Court due to health reasons. And like any other president will want to make sure that legacy is left. And he used his power, his right to appoint, a justice. Now the name Frank Musa Dean is in the public. There's a lot of public outcry. There are misconception about that. Some people feel that it's the president's right. He can nominate. He can send anybody he feels. Other people are complaining about the time. But let's look at, before we talk about that, let's play this from Senator Prince Johnson. It's the latest with the outcry, cataloging points or reasons why Musa Dean should not be on the Supreme Court bench. We will listen to him, and then we can probably kick off the conversation with that.
It will come out. How do you feel about those people there? You have said nothing. Our lives, our properties are in your care as the Chief Security Officer of the Republic. Yet you have said nothing. Since those horrible incidences, you have not said anything. Then they're taking you from Justice Ministry that you administer the affairs of justice or something that's so questionable to transfer you to Supreme Court. It seems to me, Mr. Justice Minister, that there is a cover-up that has been playing to protect themselves. It's untimely. A few more weeks, you'll be out, completely out. Why don't you leave that with the new government to do the appointment or the nomination? So I said, this is what we are discussing. Some of us in the Senate. In the Senate, there is no CDC, there is no MDL, there is no UP. We are there for the Republic of Liberia. But those who will come out to say, I'm with CDC, I'm going to protect CDC interest, then the Liberian people will turn against you. I said, now I see why every 9 years they kick people out from the Senate. Every 9 years, because we see interest in the affairs of what government does than the interest for which our people send us. So, Mr. Dean, I'm not with you. That was a conversation yesterday. So I thought to call you to let my colleagues know that Liberians are watching you. Justice Minister, they want to kill us in Juali. Anthony Jabate, he has a Madingo father, but brought up a Kwampa. He's not a biological son. He was employed by Madam Salih because the Kwampa name, and he was left behind in the office of Mr. Weir. Mr. Weir brought him closer. He became the sedition, and they asking, they plan this together. Our Wia, our Koji, our Nangbe, they plan it together to assassinate me and Jeremiah Kum. So they choose Zwale as a place to kill us. It's in the text that this man sent to me. Anthony, if you enter this town, you will die. And the blood of the Zwale people will be on your hand.
Senator Prince Johnson there of Nimba County, speaking when he made points on why the newly appointed or nominated Associate Justice, if he's confirmed, Musa Dane should not be on the Supreme Court. Jackson, you listen to him.
But I think a couple of things that we need to take a look at. The first thing is Associate Justice got sick. He's been in Ghana for a while. He officially resigned due to health reason, which is his rights to do. I think then the president's prerogative. It is in his purview, and it's constitutional for the president to nominate another person to serve as Associate Justice. The only contradiction that I have is the fact that the president had priorly passed an executive order to put a freeze on hiring and expenditure or anything, and so for him to come back and do that. But I guess it must have been an emergency to have an Associate Justice of this nature there. But I think in terms of Musa Deen, the Minister of Justice, who is almost like the Attorney General, right?
Mm-hmm.
He served for 6 years. The question is, all of the things that are happening in Liberia over the years, the mysterious deaths of all of these people that Prince Johnson listed, there has been no conclusive reporting of what happened. And so to take him and put him on the Supreme Court when he was the chief police officer in our country is a little bit scary. Is he capable of doing the job? Maybe, but his record from the past 6 years, he has not brought any of these cases to conclusion. So the question is then, why are we nominating a man who has not concluded any of these cases, these major cases? It's not like one or two, there are many cases. The Nyanswa, the Prince Johnson listed all of the people who mysteriously died, even the guy, the girl, and the two persons in the vehicle that were killed. Up to now, the missing children, all of these things, it was in his purview to make sure that it happened. I mean, that he brings this to a conclusion, and he hasn't. So then you can see what kind of a associate justice he will be. He's not going to go down there to bring conclusion to any case. It's not his doing, And so I'm afraid that it is scary. I think the president can nominate who he wants to, but with Musa Deen character, with Musa Deen work, what we have seen him do in the last 6 years, I don't think he's the best choice for the Liberia we're looking forward to at this point.
And you feel that the president himself is kind of like breaking what he said. No appointment should be made, no employment.
That's a little
and you are employing Musa at this final stage.
That send a wrong message to all of the ministers as well. If you just send me a memo or a directive not to hire, and you yourself are hiring, but again, people will argue that the Constitution is higher than the executive order, but he's giving the executive order, so he will be able to enforce the executive order as compared to himself using the Constitution to nominate Musa Deen.
Nathan.
I mean, the Article 54 of the Liberian Constitution clearly states that the president shall nominate, and with the consent of the Senate, appoint and commission ministers, deputies, ambassadors, chief justice, and associate justices of the Supreme Court, which Frank Musa Deen falls under. So it is in his power. Now, like Mr. George said, he made an executive order. But guess what? The Constitution supersedes everything. Looking at the number of days, that President Weah has in the chair, what difference can the appointment of Musadin make to his government? Again, let us not forget that the judicial branch of government is an independent. It should be an independent, meaning the associate justices and justice, they are independent people. They don't work by the will and pleasure. They should not work by the will and pleasure of the president. So for you to say, maybe the president is imploring, for me, it's not imploring, because under the power with the chief justice and associate justice, they don't work by the will and pleasure. If it was a minister, deputy, then they work by the will and pleasure of the president. That's it. We should be having a transparent person. But like you outline, like you say, always say Liberia has a compound complex situation. Everyone's know that President Weah is leaving power. He wants to use somebody at that bench to protect his interests. It's politics. I won't tell if somebody's doing it, but let's look at the big picture of the country, not to protect you. Like you listed, Musa Din has been for 6 years, and all of the protests and all of the shady deeds from the justice ministry, even emails not having food, because all of these fall under him. All of the situation, the government has lost
the issue of the police. The police falls under him. Immigration,
everything.
Paramilitaries, they are all under the Ministry of Justice. Right. So all of these things, whether they are performing at those different, agencies or departments, they all take order from Musa Din.
Correct. So then you are rewarding a man who has performed at a minimum. So if we had a scale from 1 to 10, I would put Musa at 4. So why would you hire a man on the Supreme Court who has performed at a lower rate?
And he still a chance to be audited and questioned.
But I think if the president had nominated somebody else, I don't think it would have created the kind of noise that we see. But again, like we say, all of the killings that took place in Liberia, the mysterious killings, you didn't see Musa Din having press conferences to talk about these things in real time. No,
I think they provided updates.
There were some updates. I know there were times that he appeared before with the police,
but you would see
at the information ministry talking about.
That's what I'm saying. In real
releasing
time,
the top set
continuously up to now, we should still be talking about this situation and trying to bring it to conclusion. And I would agree with you. That's why I say if you give me a scale 1 to 10, I'll give him 4, because it's up to now. What is the conclusion of those who died in the vehicle?
Natural death.
The dive from carbon dioxide, according to them.
Yeah, and so you can see that. Even so, I'm hoping that it rests with the Senate.
In your own view, he underperformed.
I think so.
It's not only underperformed, because that's why this new government is saying that they will do audit. That people always say it's not just about finance, it's performance based as well. So people should be held accountable. So if Musa Din is at that Supreme Court, it's just common logic. Nathan and Cyrus work here, and Nathan and Cyrus should be audited. A new management came and said, okay, Cyrus is going to serve as the judge for so, and Cyrus know he and Nathan be having some shady deeds and other stuff.
But I mean, I'm not even afraid. Kabina Jane was impeached from the Supreme Court bench, so he's not immune to impeachment. As compared to that. But again, I'm just saying.
Well, we want to keep that record flow of impeaching our justices.
If you set a precedent, the precedent is set. So then it creates room for people to be impeached. But my point is, if you look at his performance over the last 6 years and all of the things that were said and things that were not done, do you want this person to sit on the Supreme Court bench? Again, we should look at Liberia from a point of view where we want to go as a country and as a nation. I think the president should nominate someone else. But given the president had done that, it's left with the Supreme Court, the Senate to confirm. Again, you got 11 senators that the people kick out. Those are the 11 senators that are going to be sitting in that room to help vote.
But one thing is whether or not the leadership of the Senate will allow that nomination to hit the floor for debate.
I think
or send it to the Judiciary Committee.
Who's the Senate pro? Who decided the agenda?
The pro tem. He's already an angry member of the Senate after getting nipped by the U.S. government with sanction. So will he put that to the floor. These are questions because right now, President Weah could just play the game of like what happened with Alex Tyler.
Yeah.
He was appointed by the president after, vigorously campaigning for the Weah first term election. He was appointed, and then the public outcry came, and the nomination was withdrawn. And Tyler name did not surface anywhere around government in the entire
and
6 years.
I think the Liberian people should call the senators, make some noise about the people whose families were killed with no resolution. Should be calling the senators, mobilizing people to talk to the senators. And again, we've seen the 2023 elections in a way that it's not a giving anymore. If you vote now, the people will vote you out. So senators who are sitting down there and thinking that I'm leaving, remember, whatever you did in Congress, they can't hold you accountable for it.
No.
For those 11 senators who are becoming ordinary citizens next year, come next month, whatever they did outside of the House and Senate, take for instance development funds, if they were part of it in the county, they can be arrested as well. So don't think you can just come in and vote yourself and do whatever you want to do, or take some envelopes and say, because I'm getting, I can take these envelopes and walk away. It's not just going to be easy. We want a Liberia now where we can hold people accountable. We want a Liberia where just because you're leaving from the Senate, you can't just vote any way you want to vote.
If people can be held accountable for any decision
in Congress,
by the way,
not outside of Congress.
So they are yet.
No. Let's be clear.
They are yet to get out.
No. Even if you are if you are a senator, you want to tell me a senator can be arrested? Yes, a senator can be arrested
for certain crimes.
Exactly.
I know Senator Roland Kahn then went to jail on charges of murder.
But that's what we're saying. We're not talking about
the Deputy Speaker Tukba Mobile was arrested.
Exactly.
And he went to court. Former Deputy Speaker.
They got a thread on thin line to understand that you can't just do things because you're getting out and there's no repercussions. Our country has to grow. Politics is a messy thing.
Do you think the broadcast negotiation factor might play in with these people, especially the 11 that are going? Because I think if that hits the flow, Musa Dean gets the confirmation.
I think so
because anything can happen. There have been a series of allegation of brown envelopes as changing before people are being confirmed, even though we did not been proven, but there are a lot of allegations of such. And
we saw that former Samuel Bono and Eddie Snow gave them this, so it's not allegation. He came up, say I got my zing, my 25 bonus. So it's not allegation. These lawmakers came out and said these things.
Yeah, when Snow were removed.
Samuel Bono, I remember very well from Bon County.
Yeah. Samuel Bono.
They came out.
So I think, gentlemen, the real thing here, we need to start looking at our country. What do we want as a people? And that's where these senators and representatives got to look at. For me, it's about Musa Dean's record. I don't have anything personal against Musa Dean, but his record. That's what I would look at. Why would I want Musa Dean as a manager? Why would I want him to go on the Supreme Court bench when he has done little to solve some of the problems as the chief of security of the entire country? That's my fight with this whole entire thing. It's not about Musa Dean. Is he capable? Yeah, the president can nominate him. He can be confirmed. But let's look at his record. I'm hoping senators,
because that's how you get people jobs.
Exactly. I'm hoping
background check
and do a background check and do an honest check on him and say, okay, why didn't you do all of these things? What is the reason why all of these things were not done? If you sit on the Supreme Court, what would be different? He's not going to change his character just because he's on the Supreme Court bench. He's not going to change. He's going to
do you think that would change anything? Because we saw the tough nomination confirmation hearing. One of the toughest I saw under this Senate was the one with Wilhelmina Njala. Later, I think you remember when she was appointed as health minister. There were a lot of things that played. There were people that died at her clinic as a result of unprofessional work and all of that. Yet and still, she got the confirmation. And in my view, she's one of the worst health ministers. She's one of the worst. That's how I feel.
And that's why we continue to talk about these things. People who are performing desperately are being hired. People with shady characters are being hired. And so at some point as a nation, we need to look at these things and figure out why are we continuously rewarding people who continue to hurt us. That's why our country look the way it is, because these people, some of these people really don't care. Again, politics is messy. They can ram it through if they wanted to, but I think at some point we must love our country and be patriotic more to bring in the right people who can do the job.
Article 73. No judicial official shall be summoned, arrested, detained, persecuted, or tried civilly or criminally by or at the instance of any person or authority on accounts of judicial opinions rendered or expressed, judicial statement made, and judicial act done in the course of a trial in open court or in chambers, except for treason or other felonies, misdemeanor, or breach of peace.
Well, there's room. There's room.
I'm still reading.
I like what you're reading. There's still room to hold you accountable. Nobody's above the law. And that's the beauty about sometimes the Constitution. The Constitution is so broad and vague that you can interpret it whatever way you want to interpret it. But my point is, for Justice Minister Musa Dean, who has performed with all of the things that are happening in our country, to come on the bench. They said you would know Christmas from the eve. I already know how he would perform. I don't need rocket scientists to tell me if he sits on the bench what's going to happen.
And he worked for a government that will be audited.
Exactly. Nothing going to happen. All these cases, let's take for instance, the new government come in and send cases to the Supreme Court. Nothing going to come out.
Biases,
he would just sit there on his desk.
He recuse himself because that's what it calls for.
It should.
Yeah. Technically, I think in my opinion, President Weadu, he thinks that he must leave with his mark on the Supreme Court. That will be his third, right? The first was the promotion of Siana Yo from being Associate Justice to Chief Justice.
Correct.
The second was the appointment of Joseph Nangbe, then Senator of Sino.
Yeah.
He resigned and took the job as Associate Justice. The third was Associate Justice Yusuf Kaba, who replaced Kabina Janet.
Correct.
So if one is leaving that he appointed,
even Yusuf Kaba came under high criticism, from his stand and other stuff like that. So, but this is like Bill, like you said,
people felt that he wanted to reward the kind of community, being that Kabina Janet was from that background. He could soften the hearts of the people from the Muslim Adingo side. So, we replace so that I don't think that people don't feel that you are moving this person from the bench because of this.
Well, that is what I say. We should be careful how we set precedents. He can be impeached as well. We should be careful how we set precedents. The precedent has been set. Kabina Jana was removed from the bench. Anybody can be removed. So that is clear.
Yeah, because it's hard. It's not anybody can be removed. It's hard. When they are in majority, it's
majority now.
It's hard.
A precedent. Look, Donald Trump appointed all his people, and you know what they did to him here. So just because we have these people, when government is not in power, people flip their viewpoints.
You don't compare our politics with our politicians are poor.
Flip their viewpoints. But I don't see Musa Dean changing his viewpoint based on the way he has performed in his job. I'm not worried about
all his friends.
Yeah, it's the way this guy performed as Justice Minister, as Attorney General of the country. He was the chief police officer in our country, law enforcement officer, with everything.
A legal advisor to the president.
To the president. Every mining company that came into that country, everything Musa Dean is part of almost everything. He's the chairman on Joint Security.
Yeah.
So everything that has happened in this country, Musa Dean knows about it, either directly or indirectly. In terms of the reports that are coming to him, he sees stuff, he reads stuff. There's nothing that happened in the country that he wouldn't know of.
Do you have any second thought that, for instance, if this hits the flow of the Senate, Musa, to me, I think he could get confirmed.
I think I heard that he was
with the numbers.
He passed by the place yesterday. I think he went to meet some people. You heard Prince Johnson say he got a call. I think he's lobbying.
So everyone that gets appointed goes to Capitol Building and start to soften the ground for my confirmation.
Exactly. And so he's calling senators talking to them, which that's his right to do.
Mhm.
You know,
not why should chief within on sitting on the bench be doing that?
No, he's
Because
not on the bench yet.
it's not on the bench.
He's
I mean,
lobbying. He's lobbying because
yes,
he wants
but
to get the confirmation.
it's fine. So, but
So,
even
which
doing
is
that,
not wrong.
no, it's your job should be more independent. But look,
Well, you got to get confirmed
you
from the
gotta get
governor.
confirmed. But I mean,
So
you
that's
should
it.
be. It's just like National Elections Commission chair. Then you go start lobbying.
No, even the
Hey,
National
no.
Elections Commission
I
chair.
mean, it should not
get to-
be.
you-
It should
you-
not
it's
be.
like
There are
you won
certain
the job.
jobs.
You
Yeah,
won the
but there are
job.
certain jobs you cannot
Well,
go
you
and
yourself
lobby.
should not be doing it. You should
Yes,
have a
you
lobby
know, there are
group
certain
talking
jobs.
about you out
Fine.
doing it. You should not
It
be the
just
one calling
in the
senator
face and things.
asking
You
for
can it just more
favor. But again,
integrity, man.
our
Yeah,
politics is different. You know, our mindsets are different.
we can.
We do things differently, and so he's lobbying. But again,
I think my fear here is that with the fact that the Senate just needs 16 votes in favor of Musa, he becomes the next associate justice.
well, I think-
11
I think I would
11
like
of
to- I would like
11
to see-
senators.
I would like to see the incoming administration making some calls as well.
How sure are you that they're not
No,
making calls?
that's what I'm saying. I would like to see them making some calls behind closed doors, talking to people. Senator,
It should be close to envelopes.
It doesn't have to be envelope.
It must
But
be.
you know, at some
It
point-
must be.
At some point, you gotta muscle things. Look, I will
Negotiations.
call all these
negotiations
11
will still take
senators.
place.
But now, I will call all these 11 senators and sit them down and say, look,
So one of
guys are leaving, so-
one of our followers just made a correction to what I thought it was 3, but there are 4. Associate Justice Beseji
there you go.
was appointed by
the
President
entire
Obi.
bench might be
So-
the entire
so
bench might be the,
Thank you,
know.
colleague.
So we got 9, right? Is it 9 or 6? We got 6 justices.
No, I think 7.
7.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there must be a tiebreaker, which brings in that.
Okay, 7.
Yeah. So
You know, so I mean, it's important that we start looking at this country where
From the head.
You know, but leadership in Africa start from the head down. On like other places, grassroots, you know, campaign can get.
But
Start from the head.
Chief Justice Sienna Yo did not get this kind of a public outcry when she was elevated from Associate Justice to Chief Justice.
Well,
And even her appearance before the Senate was like schooling, you know, educating
correct.
on the
You know,
on the
I
justice
mean,
system and
again,
all of
like
that.
I said, if the president had nominated somebody else, maybe we would not even be talking about this. The question is the Justice Minister Musa Dean, who is the chairman of the Joint Security, who understands everything that is happening in this country over the last 6 years. He knows a lot. But his performance, if he were resolving some of these cases, bringing them, you know, doing his work, we wouldn't be talking this. We'd be happy for him to serve on the Supreme Court, no matter whether the president nominated and what party he came from. But for the last 6 years, from my end, I don't know how well you can say that he passed the test. I mean, if he were working in a private institution, I don't know he would be elevated to vice president for, you know, in any company for the way he performed. So that's my little argument that it is not about Musa Dieng as an individual, it's how he performed at his job that has created this noise that we're talking about. The families of all those people that were killed, the kids that were missing. He needs to give them answer. He's the chief security officer in our country. I don't know if the answers that he's giving them make sense when you say somebody died in a car from carbon monoxide, who has sex on the street, you know, even if you're having sex and you die and you won't bring the class down, it doesn't make sense. So those are some of the things that I'm talking about. If you have to give a reason that makes sense. But you can't just say the person died in car, 2 grown people, 2 married people, 2 people with money. They got motels all over hotels.
I don't think that was not in his report.
No, I don't think it's in a report, but that's a noise around town. So how do you dispel?
And I think the biggest case won under the Musa Dien's regime is the one with former Chief Justice Cora Scott. Yeah. I think that's if I may be correct.
Even with
it's now final.
Even with that, no, it's final. I mean, they get a ruling, they can appeal.
They have announced an appeal to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, they can appeal, but the point here is the intent. I don't know if they were even able to find the reason why the mother and 4 women will want to kill a child in a gruesome way the intent. That's why I'm still waiting to see.
And that lies in the purview or in the hands of the jurors. That was that which of
but
course
again, poverty is a disease.
a lot of people,
poverty is a disease,
you know,
and people could be, opinion could sway and other stuff. But I feel sad for that situation. But in my own guts, I don't know why a mother who grew a child of that nature and 4 other women would use knives and kill a child in that manner. I still, is it impossible? No. But in our case, this one look.
Yeah, and I think the president too, sometimes you have to think outside of the box. You have the power, but sometimes you don't abuse the power, and you look at what good for the country, right? It's not about me, myself, and I. This particular man, even in lower court, have been summoning him, he and the police director and other people in the government to produce the living body of other people who are the past from 2021. So he has been in the news for all the bad reasons, right? And it's not about friendship. That position must be people of good character.
Yeah, and I sure there's some other seditions that are lawyers that the president could have nominated to perform the same thing that Musa Din would have performed in there. Why create all of the noise when you could have appointed somebody else who not into the news, that could sit on a bench as well and do the same thing that Musa Din will do down there. It would not have changed anything. That person could have come, no noise, sit on a bench and create the kind of a uneasiness that on the Supreme Court that Musa Din will have done. But again, I think leaving Musa Din outside after all of these things, when Musa Din becomes an ordinary citizen, I think that's where the problem lies. And maybe it was a means of protecting Musa Din, but Musa Din cannot be protected forever. At a certain point, he will have to leave the Supreme Court. He could get sick and leave the Supreme Court.
So the president should do Charles Gibson.
Councillor Gibson is already in government. He's
I'm saying, so you move him.
He was appointed. And there was a huge outcry, and his nomination was withdrawn. Yeah.
So that they're going to be passing. I should not go now. You have Charles Gibson and Dean.
Those are the only 3 people in CDC.
Yeah, the people have been circulated.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still other people.
Phil Dixon.
And I see Glendy G Juniors writes no to Musa Din, no rush decision. That's her opinion. Glendy, she said no rush. And Glendy is somebody who her dad was a member of the judiciary. Yeah, on the bench, I think before who served in.
Liberian people need to start paying attention to the legislature. I don't think we pay a lot of attention and hold our legislature accountable. Again, I keep saying, the government brings a budget to you of 580 million. My question is, why can't we take it to $1 billion? We need better schools. We need better healthcare system. Look at the situation which we're going to talk about.
Can you raise it?
Yes.
Can you raise it?
You have to be innovative. You have to create the environment for people, for business to do well, to pay more taxes. You have to reduce government and invest into the private sector. Government can never be the largest employer if we have to grow.
And the CEO of KMTV Liberia writes, for me, no need to rush. CEO Rana Jackson,
but there's no need to rush. There's no need to rush.
So now, like you are saying, are Liberians, holding their lawmakers' feet by the fire? For me, I think there are a lot of public outcry on a lot of things, a lot of national issues, but these people don't listen.
Wow.
That's why you see every election, you see now 11 senators are going. 11 are going.
Let me tell you something. Public servants in Liberia.
So the people would be like, since you can't listen, we're waiting for the ballot box.
Public servants have always behaved like they're doing us a favor.
Mm-hmm.
You see a minister think that he's doing you a favor when you are the one who paying his salary. You sending his children to school.
Mm-hmm.
But to him or her, they're doing us a favor, like the deputy minister of health say, why are you recording me? You're standing in front of
the public
office. You are a public servant paid by the public. You can be recorded anywhere at any
once
time.
you're out there.
But then she's using security that we pay as well to move a journalist because she's being recorded. So you can see that they feel that they're doing us a favor. Once they get elected, They're done with the people in a.
Yeah, but who do they work for?
Our people now.
Who do they work for? The will and
people.
pleasure, no? They feel, because you see the way it's interpreted in leadership,
the
ministers, deputies. That
they
was
work at the will and pleasure of the president. But
and
the people. For the people.
It's not like that.
No, it should.
It is not like that.
What do you mean it's not like
that? It is not stated like that.
It shouldn't be stated. It's automatic.
No, it's not automatic. Even in the
so
letter.
You're saying that you can ignore the people because you work at the will and pleasure of the president?
That's why they need to change that preamble.
You work at the will and pleasure of the president.
But doesn't mean you can be disrespectful to the masses.
So that's how they feel, that if the president like them, then that's it. They don't care for. I mean, all ministers who have seen that from Walter Gonogari, from the health minister, your health minister, we can name them, from Eugene Shannon, Lance and Mars Minister, Eddie Johnson said it.
We the people have accepted the behavior of these people. Why should I stop because a minister coming and he going into the elevator? Because we have accepted that character. We shouldn't.
That's every time finance ministry. American
we the people have accepted this culture. That they are doing us a favor.
Yes,
so to them, whoever you bring in when they come in, everybody runs.
That's why I think the Boycott administration will have a lot to
no
do.
difference.
Exactly. There should be a difference.
There should, but there will be.
The people voted for change because if I will get the ears of the incoming president, the first thing you should do, your justice minister should make sure that no other vehicle carry emergency blinkers around town. Everybody got their own red, white, and blue light emergency blinker. They stay in their homes until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Yeah. And you're leaving from Broadway to Monrovia to work. I mean, taking the opposite link. These things.
Representative from district number whatever, maybe in Bogistown, coming to work late or going to his office with take the tail in. I mean, if you want to go to work on time. Go early. Look, we must respect the people. Yes, there are some government officers with constitutional rights. The president, the vice president, the president pro tem, the speaker, all these people got rights, the security rights to move and make sure the traffic opens up.
It's open. It's
but
going.
Not everybody else. The reason why our country, our roads are not developing fast is because they can go faster than we go. So they don't sit in traffic for hours. They'll put money into the budget to expand the roads, build overheads, and do these things so that we all can have freedom to move. But because they can drive their cars and everybody park and they get on the tail lane and move, why would I want to put money into the roads when I can go to work easily? It doesn't make sense. And then the frustrating thing is that after 6 years or 9 years as senator, you come back to be an ordinary citizen again. Now you are faced with the same rules. And I always tell them,
you still have the same JFK with all medication.
Build JFK for yourself.
We'll come to it.
Build JFK for yourself, because you never know. Even if you got a blue book, as you go home and you minister, you got blue book. When a car make accident, they got to stabilize you before they take you abroad. And if JFK is not fixed for you,
where are you going to?
Where are you going to go? So forget about the people and saying, "Oh, I don't care about the people." Care about yourself.
And that's it. So we will take this break. Let's listen to incoming President Joseph Newman Barker on this break. When we come back, there are other issues, especially with the situation there in Totota.
And there's another disaster again in Liberia. Another fire disaster. When we come back, we'll tell you more.
So here is the incoming President Joseph Newman Barker, the man from Foya District, Lofa County.
On this occasion, we want to demonstrate our gratitude and renew our commitment to the Liberian people. By this certification, I pledge that Liberia will be a different country under my leadership. We will not betray the trust of our people. We will work tirelessly for you. We ensure that you would benefit from your votes. And in so doing, we say to you, you should love Liberia, you should think Liberia, and together we build a great Liberia. Thank you.
And I tell you, former Vice President and President-elect of the Republic of Liberia, Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka, the man from Foya District, Ufa County, they're speaking recently when he got certificated officially by the National Elections Commission. We've been joined by Glendy J. Juniors. She said, I'm tired of writing. Let me come up and express a little bit of how I feel. Glendy, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Cyrus. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you. Guys, you hearing me?
Yeah, put our headphone down so we hear.
All right. You're getting us clearly, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. It's good to have you. You look so beautiful.
Look at you. hello, now. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we have Jackson George here. Nathan Charles is also here. You know,
my
Nathan.
God, I get to be on a platform with Jackson George. I've heard so much about you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, and he's wearing many hats. Now Jackson has dedicated his time to being here, regularly as possible on the Diaspora Talk. We hope you can make your own time too to join us when you can.
I know like y'all, some of y'all don't have to work at this time. Some we got to work. And the problem
I still have to work. Nobody live in this country all working. But a part of, in addition to our work life, we added this because our people will have to listen to what's happening in our country. We all have to, speak about the things, no matter where we are, when we can do it, it's possible. And you were there just commenting, no to this, no to that. And I'm like, do you want to come and tell the people why? No, you have the platform. Go right ahead.
So one of the things that the judiciary system continues to interest me on is because my father was a lawyer and he rose to the rank of associate justice in Liberia. So that branch of government really does interest me. Now, when I'm saying no to Musa, and I want to be on the record, and Musa D is a family, and it's something that I'm not going to shy away from, a close family member. And I want to be on the record, and I'm making my sentiments public. I also am not saying that Musa Dean is not qualified for the position. I'm saying no for several reasons. Why the rush is my concern. We subsequently learned yesterday that Justice Namwe has not been to work for 8 months. So if he has not been to work for 8 months and the Supreme Court has been able to survive without his input, why is it now that on December 21st, he writes and asks for early retirement, and on December 26th, he already has a replacement named that has been suggested? Why the rush? And also, there are so many things that you can look at. What is the precedence here? What has our country done before? Is it supported by the Constitution? Is this law? And I think it's time and I think Jackson made the comment that it is important that Liberians, no matter where we are, to become a part of the conversation in our country. I think we've suffered a lot. We've heard negative things said about Liberia a lot. So it's important. It is incumbent upon us to start talking, to start getting informed, to start being a part of the discussion. Because when it all boils down to everything, it is your country. You are a Liberian when negative stuff come up. So I think the decision is rushed. I think it should not be rushed. I think the senators need to decline it, and I think they need to ask for time. I also think, and just simply, Cyrus, when people retire here in America or outside of Liberia, it's not an immediate fix. It's something that they've planned. It's something that has happened. So if Justice Namwe wanted to retire, it's like, when did he decide to do that? Why is it that on the 21st year he wants to retire and now there's a replacement? What are the plans?
Don't you think they need to give incoming President Boyka a full bench inauguration?
Well, even the fact that he's been there for 8 months and hasn't worked, he was still on the bench. So they can still give him a full bench with him being there, and then he can work on his retirement after the ascension of the new government. I don't understand what the need to rush about.
So, Glenda, are you questioning the power of the president given to him by the Constitution?
No, I'm not. I don't care about the power right now when it relates to the Constitution. We also, when we talk about Constitution and power, we have to look and see what the law in Liberia says. We have to look at precedents. We have to look at, have there been any situation like this before? Has it happened before? I'm not saying President Weah is not in his right to do this. Even if he's in his right to do that, the Senate also are in their right to reject it. So it's like, it's not something that he can veto. There's no way he can veto this, but he has a right to recommend, and they also have a right to refuse it. I think they need to refuse this.
And like Jackson raised a point before you came on that Liberians are not speaking out. We just sit and let these things shove down our throats. You know, there are a lot of different times we see people complain about people that are appointed. No matter what, they get there, get a tough confirmation hearing, ups and downs, and people who you think should stand up and vote against, you know, this, they even allow it from their committees onto the floor, because even before that coming to the floor for a total vote, it comes from the committee. The committee of judiciary will say we vetted Glendy and we think that Glendy is good to go. That's why we are recommending her to be confirmed. Or we vetted Glendy like they did in the case of Zolizo. You know, they cross-check him, and at the end of the day, they recommend to the full Senate that we cannot recommend his confirmation. Let's, you know, deny him confirmation. So what can we say about the public own action? Maybe by now people should be visiting their lawmakers, you know, in droves to tell you that you cannot vote for this. You know,
True.
but we still see these things are shoved down our throats.
And that, no, but sorry, well, one of the things that the Liberian people are not involved.
Yes.
We just leave these things with, look, government is of the people, for the people, and by the people. You know, once upon a time, I told a group of Liberians shipping from here. They say the port, you go to the port, there's a problem and other things. I said, let me tell you something. That's a gateway. That's a money-making thing. If you organize yourself here and don't ship and tell the port, say, we're not going to ship to Liberia for 1 month, and we'll put pressure on them, they will do it. They will fix it. But if we just allow, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If we just allow them to do what they want to do, you know, then at the end of the day, they will continue to do it because there's no pressure on them. We have to change this culture. This culture that these people are doing us favor. That we pay them to do us favor. They're not doing us favor. They must do their jobs. And if that is the case, then the Liberian people should put pressure on the senators to say, no, let's wait, or they'll reject it. I've just told you about Musa Din's performance. Yes. Let's look at his job record.
True.
What has he done in the last 6 years to sit on the bench?
Mm-hmm.
If he had done nothing, I mean, let's say we didn't know this guy. Then we could say, yeah, well, there's little about him. We don't know him. Maybe we can all surmise and say, maybe. But I can tell you, Musa didn't sit on the bench. I know exactly what he's going to do. Because for 6 years, he's done what he did. So no Liberian can say, oh, I don't know Musa Din. Based on what he's done. Go read the papers. Go look at his job performance. Yes. And then you can give him a position. Why are we always giving people who've done nothing or little or hurting our country? We continuously give them, reward them.
Yes.
How will this country develop? We got 5 million people in our country, and we be behaving just like we just got 10,000 people. The same people, we just recycle the same people in our cycle for forever. At what point other people get involved in the government? Yeah. You know.
So when it comes to performance, now let's draw in this issue of the disaster there in Totota. I know that was key on our minds. We were talking about it backstage just before we came on. Glendy, I know you've been following that. It was a very sad one in the remains side. We understand the death toll is now, I think, 50, and more people still in critical condition. Let's look at, you know, our country. What are some of the things that have been done to avoid that particular situation? I watched the video when people went, you know, I could not stomach seeing how people just expose themselves to danger. Mm-hmm. You know, first thing, expose themselves to danger. A gas tanker is falling or has fallen, and you climb on top of that thing. Some of them on top of the truck. There is no public safety in place because all of the time, the long time that it took, if there was something like we used to have before called highway patrol, what we call state patrol here, you know, they will have barricaded that place and prevented. Why are we always reactive than proactive? That remains the biggest question. So I don't know whether you have a take on that, Glennie. Let's hear you.
So I think I want to tie in with what Jackson has said, is that we as a Liberian people, we're not proactive. We're reactive. So something happened and then we react. This is not the second incident with a tanker on that road. So it's almost like when the first tanker accident occurred or incident occurred, what was done? What was done for public measure? What was done to create awareness to the people? It's like you say, I was reading today, I don't know if the person was being facetious, but the person was writing saying that there was only one policeman on the scene and he whatever he had to stop, that's what he did. It's almost like when we know better, we don't do better. We don't create an awareness for people. People, it's almost like there are some people there who knew that were danger, but it's almost like they decided to risk the danger because they probably would get a gallon of gas that they would have sold for something less. So it's almost, and it's like, and what is even worse is that such a huge crisis occurred from that tanker incident, and there is no immediate response from President Weah until a day or so later. It's like, who are these people? Who's helping to curtail some of these things that's happening in Liberia? It's like, who's going to help it? And it's just like you say, we understand that not all Liberians or not everyone is concerned to becoming involved and engaging in the things of our country, but we cannot be lackadaisical in some of these things. We have to be able to speak about it. And now, even with this tanker, have you heard anything else going on? Have you seen anybody talking about it? Has there been a press conference to say, next time when this happens, please don't go around it? What have they done to stop it? Nothing. And something will happen again and people will go there again.
Jackson.
You know, we go back to, you know, some of these problems come from in our House and Senate. Allocation of funds, the budget. How much money do we put into these things? I mean, when we ask for system audit, people think it's witch hunt. System audit will tell you at the Ministry of Transport what is there. Do we, you know, it will tell you what is there, what a capacity is, and what you can fix things on. Audits are not just financial audits. We need to audit our entire system across the country to know what is there and what is not there. You're creating budgets. Look at the budget. We went over the budget the other day. How much is there for healthcare? Totota as a place does not even have a fire truck or an ambulance there. You know, look at Rainy Hospital in Kakata. So you pass in all those people from Totota, you pass in them through Kakata to have a resident hospital, and you're taking them all the way to Monrovia. You know, so we need to take this country serious. And this country being serious means that we must have our systems working. The legislature, we got to put serious people in there again to raise our budget, our national budget from this million to at least 1 billion to put more money into the sector. I was watching the Minister of Health at the JFK hospital.
Yeah, no bed sheets.
She brought some boxes. We should be talking about trailer coming in. You want to tell me JFK doesn't have reserve? If a major disaster happened in our country today, what happened to us?
You go to her.
Why do we behave?
But
my question is, why do we behave that we don't know? And the people who are managing this thing live in the diaspora. They have seen. It's not like they're blind. They've come to this country. They are educated here, and they go home and do basically nothing because we don't have money. We don't have money. We have used this excuse all the time. We got gold. We got diamond. We got rubber. We got tourism. We can be innovative. But we just don't care because guess what? They are doing us a favor. They don't believe that they have to work. They don't believe that they have to develop this country for all of us. They are only performing a favor for us. In fact, we should be happy and proud that they are there to do us a favor. So I brought you a few boxes. Boxes? Are you talking? We're supposed to have a 40-foot trailer. We're supposed to have a warehouse full of things. That if earthquake happened in our country today, what would be begging international partner? What the United Nations? What about us?
What are we doing?
Sometimes I wonder, is the white men just smarter than us? They were just made differently. We go to school with these people. We stay in the classroom with them. We know our abilities when we come here. Then we go to our own country and we perform as if to say there's nothing there. We care about ourselves. Now, I always say take care of take care of yourself. Your family could have been in at that tanker.
Mm-hmm.
Then they rushed them to JFK. So what happened to you as a lawmaker if your family was in that tanker? Then you expect JFK to perform miracles? Let's put more money into the system to deal with this situation. A whole city like the Toyota should have its own ambulance and own fire service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we don't care. We don't.
And the thing is, it is our lawmakers too. Even the National Disaster Relief Committee has one of the lowest
budget
from Erin Johnson's at this time, not just during this regime.
No.
So they don't put money into the budget. What happened to Grand Cape County? What happened in Grange, the other counties? They don't have money now. President Weah issued a statement. Glenda, he said one thing. I grab. I'm like, what's the motive? He said, express sympathy to the fire victim. One of the paragraphs said, President Weah said, images of the tragedy are deeply disturbing and called on the public to reach out to affected families as the Liberia National Red Cross and other requisite institutions of government aid with recovery treatment.
Oh, brother, but now we should have
because you don't have it.
The Senate and the House are going in and have a appropriation made for the disaster so that we take care of our citizens. We can't look. It's just like we got a village. Seriously. And what bothers me the most is that these people think they're doing us a favor.
But let's listen.
The job. Who has the chief of police been on the scene? Has the minister of health been on the scene? Have these people been on the actual scene to see what
happen?
No, because again, they are doing us a favor. We should be thankful to them
that they are doing it. Yeah, let's
play this video when health officials they're discussing some of the preparation and processes they have gone through.
Their legs are burnt. Most of the places we normally access veins. When you go to the doctor, they usually put those IVs in your hand. We don't have any place to put them. There's no skin there. For most of these guys, their arms, their legs are burnt. So they're having to do a central venous access on these gentlemen with these triple lumen catheters. We're in desperate need of those. Because it's a central line access, it's also a huge risk for infection. So we need to ensure that we can change them periodically so that infection doesn't now start coming from the outside through those lines as much as we're having to access it to give fluids. We need fluids. We need LR or RL, lactated ringers, is what the word is. We also need saline. Just everything, diapers. Most of these gentlemen have skin burns all throughout their private parts. Okay? And not to get too graphic, but everywhere is burned. Imagine when you defecate and your waste gets into an open wound. That's a source of infection also. So we're trying to contain those wastes. That's why we need the diapers, in case anyone's wondering. In order for us to not have that getting all over their legs, all over the dressing and other things like that. Okay, so we really truly need a lot of help. And when I say we, I don't mean only JFK. Mm-hmm. We have patients at ELWA Hospital. We have patients at Catholic. We have patients at Military 14. Okay, all of those places need assistance. We all need assistance as much as possible. Nothing is too small. A young lady brought, I think, 10 sacks of water yesterday. Yeah. That took our staff through, because imagine trying to change these dressings. We're changing them 2 to 3 times a day per patient. Each dressing change on one individual, depending on the degree of burn, you end up using about maybe 2 or 3 rolls of bandages. These are big rolls. We have to wrap them up after you put the Silverdane ointment on it.
And Glendy, I know you listen to her speaking your language. You there with us, Glendy? I know you listen. Just unmute yourself. I know you listen to her speaking your language. You work in the field as a nurse, listening to her. She's talking about desperate needs for things that should be available immediately in a hospital. Mm-hmm. What's your own take?
It's sad. It's a crisis. It's like the government, or I think Jackson may mention where the senators or the representatives should have come now, call a special section, see how they can get to Red Cross, see how they can get to people in the neighboring countries to assist. Number one, do we have a burn unit at any one of those centers. When she's talking about there's no access to a vein and you're trying to do a central venous line, it's like, do you even have the catheters that you need to do that? They don't. So it's a crisis. It's almost like an epidemic right now that the president should have said something about, that they should have put something into place immediately. But if you cannot even, it's like, I just saw a post of a friend of mine who has lost her brother and his son to this incident. How are they going to be able to get those people? They are just in agony. You talk about dressing changes, JFK, most of the time they don't. I know we have an organization that we help every now and then to provide some assistance to the children's unit at JFK. And sometimes you have family people that take their loved ones to JFK and they have to buy their own dressing. They have to buy their own medications. So much so you're seeing it now in this crisis situation. But you have Liberians who work in those capacities, who know better, and they have not done better. Right. You got somebody like the Minister Jala who went to school outside of Liberia, and this is the health minister. And so there was no time for, just in case if we have a crisis concerning burn or earthquake or whatever, what would happen? What will we do? They don't have the capacity.
Don't you think that when these kinds of things happen, it comes back at the feet of our legislature?
Yes.
You know, we saw how the public works minister used them when he before them on the Ralphie Highway situation. She said, "You're made this responsible." You know,
y'all did it.
So if you call Wilhelmina Jala, she can smartly tell you that we don't have the appropriation.
They don't.
You know? So when will we learn our lessons? These things happen over and again, but we don't learn.
No.
You know, public safety. I remember when I covered the legislature, this man, Councillor Wanasu, died in Congo Town when he ran under that truck. That truck broke down on that Congo Town in the curve. It was there forever. Nobody could even erect a sign that says, danger ahead or something. But yet and still, up to today, there are still these things happening.
Cyrus,
so what can we do as a people?
We just got to pray for the masses. You know, when you feel that your child got food on the table, your kids go to good school, you have the capacity to fly your children to Ghana or foreign countries, you really don't care about the other people. You know, and that's my frustration with our country.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us can do. What about the people who
can fend for themselves?
Today they are in the hospitals there. We are asking for diapers. We're asking for water. For the first month. If we have
somebody just brought 10 cases of water,
we have exhausted
supplies for that day.
And now we are asking the general community to give us just something
40%
for the first month.
40%,
80%, 100%. We are asking at this point as a country.
Mm-hmm.
Look. That's why when the white men tell us, say, I sanction this, I do this, they're right. We should wait for the white men to sanction, or we should wait for the white men to bring supplies, or we should wait for the white men to do everything for us. Then who are we?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We are village. Village. Because right now we're waiting for the white man to come to our aid again.
Are you talking about village? One of our followers just said, Liberia, may God continue to have mercy.
We are waiting for the white man to come. Everybody is sitting down for the United Nations or the American embassy or Red Cross to show up with their trucks, and then we will clap.
Mm-hmm.
These people are not better than us.
They're making 17,000, 15,000
These people are not better than us. So
makers.
Again, they are doing us a favor, because if they were not, for this country to develop, the leadership must fear the masses.
How would that happen?
That means if I'm Minister of Health and this thing happen, I know I'm going to my house. I know I'm not getting my car. Maybe I'll have myself to go to JFK.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know that this country will start to develop. When the people begin to be conscious of these things.
The people gets to use their power is every 6 years.
I agree.
Remove you.
I agree, but people can get angry.
People can get angry. They must speak out. They must make decisions that will work for them. And
these people, it's just favor, my brother. Look, our government have always been favor. Look, the minister coming, everybody run. Everybody stop. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. So I feel sad that people who are poor The families are going through there. Some people burn beyond repair. They can't even identify people.
Look at this.
Then we are saying, or go to the police station, write the names down of the missing people. Okay, the police station is a police station equipped. First of all,
you gotta buy your own sheet.
You know, the policeman gotta buy your own sheet.
No, you have to complete.
Yeah, you gotta buy your own sheet. Then you send it to us. Now, in the hospital, do we have a list of all of the people already? And when we call in the families, you know, to let them know. Do we have a place where when the families come from Totota, they can reside and be and other stuff? Crisis management.
Yep.
But no.
But mind you, we just did census in Liberia, so you would think we should already have some of those names.
Yeah, but I release all the data yet.
So again,
yes.
Yeah, and like you put it, if our legislators were serious, they will now tell the finance minister, you have to
allocate funds.
This is you know, emergency. We have to do X, Y, Z.
But guess what?
This situation.
Their kids are not there. The family member, maybe the family member or immediate family not there.
Again,
if maybe if one of the immediate families were there, the situation would be different.
But guess
That's
what? We have lawmakers from Bond County, right?
Yes.
Newly elected and old officials from Bond County. The vice president is from Bond County.
Yes.
Right? Fine. So tell me, they call influence. What impact are you making? Because as a leader, this is where you step in. What emergency aid are you coming in with? So all of the, even if somebody chipping $2,000 together.
But I keep saying, if you feel that you're doing favor for the people, then you do it at your time and pleasure. But if you're working for the people, you will work. You will work for the will and pleasure of the people. But if you're doing them a favor, you're doing them a favor. Look, we dedicate 6-bedroom hospital clinic, and we are happy. That's not what the people need at this point. We need emergency response right now. We need to be sure that these people who are burnt, they are taking. I see these people with different all kind of things on their bodies. You know, you burn.
Even the health workers are not taking pay.
You burn. Your whole exposed. Some of these people are not taking pay. They're working 24 hours.
Health workers,
They are not taking pay. I mean, are we serious about this thing yet? You know, I mean, I think we have always taken Liberia to be a joke.
Yep. So now I would turn to like even people who went.
So why have the people strike right now? They say, okay, I mean, it's inhumane to do that. But why did JFK say, okay, we strike? Y'all pay us. The money that's supposed to be used now to buy drugs and other stuff, that's what we're doing. 6 boxes, 10 boxes of supply can't help the situation right now.
And it is,
you know, it's just like you say, I'm praying to Jesus right now. I want God to come right now. That God need to be on this situation. I hear son.
You know? And it is something that baffles me indeed when our sector, you know, officials cannot take onto the fray to do what they ought to do. This situation, I think you watched Madam Georgia Gray this morning. I want to play an excerpt from this interview with her
Cyrus, so since we still with the accident, let us show you the picture on the another disaster again happened in Liberia. You have that picture there, a tanker another container tanker. Yes, this reporting that 14-foot container got a fire along the Japanese freeway. So that's another.
That is the picture right on the screen. There. Compliments of the Liberian Public Radio.
Yeah,
that's their photograph of a 40-foot. You know,
container.
What
another accident again. Women TV is reporting another accident.
I'm hoping that the Burkham administration coming in will do a system audit. Look, we need to audit our country.
You're saying audit.
We need a system audit to fix some of these problems.
There are reports that are there that are not acted on.
That's what. Yeah,
there are reports.
Yeah, but let's start from
you know, as far as John Malou days, there are reports sitting there.
It comes again from leadership. You know? It come again. You have to have the political will to be able to effectuate some of these things. The problem we're having is if people feel that the masses don't care, right? I can do whatever I want to do. So I don't care. I got 6 years to do what I want to do. When I get my damn phone.
Where do you carry complaints? Well, who takes action?
So let's again. Let me put one thing. The way you get hired is the way you perform.
Yeah.
If I hire you because you're not competent, I just hire you and put you there. You got to pick up your phone at every point to call me and say, "What do I do?" At that point,
forget about the job.
You can't perform.
All right, so let's take this break with this. We're taking an excerpt of this interview with Georgia Gray. And it's somehow funny, but it is serious. How can you arrive in Liberia and you cannot get your luggages? Nobody can answer questions. You know, let's listen to her. We'll come back with that. And that's funny indeed. Very, very funny and serious.
Hope you're okay today.
No, I'm not. I'm not okay. I'm
Please,
upset. I'm
okay.
not okay.
Please introduce yourself to the
My name is Georgette Gray, and I'm from Minnesota, but I'm now in Liberia. I got here on Sunday. I came for my father's funeral. We intend that we're going to have the funeral yesterday, which was Thursday. We landed here on Sunday night, had a terrible chaos at the airport, just for us to realize that all of our bags weren't on the flight that we were on. We got here, and the flight that we were on had bags for people that came on the 14th or 13th and stuff like that. Even to document our bags missing, it took us 3 hours at the airport. Air Morocco had only 2 staff on duty to handwrite our complaints, handwritten sheets. 2 people with over 300 people on that flight, or maybe over 200 people on the flight. 2 people handwriting these things. We tried to even ask them to say, just give us the forms, let us try and fill it. No, we had to live through that mystery. They said, okay, your bags will come. Let's check back on Tuesday. Another flight is coming. We got here, our bags are still not here. Everything I brought, everything is in my bag. I don't have anything in Liberia. I came to the office here. We were silent. This place was like a madhouse. We were silent because we said, okay, we understand our airline that's Christmas holiday, or this is the season, is going to be busy. Maybe that's the problem. I come here today, they made us, I live in Caldwell. Come from Caldwell all through that Douala traffic, coming here to get here. Our bags are still not here. Everybody coming and going. And I'm like, I asked them, I said, who is the manager here? Yes, you have a local manager to help us address these concerns. You can just take people's bags and tell them, drop them in the country. This is our country, yes. But you don't just take our bags, we drop us here, and there is no one to talk to. You get the staff that said we can't talk. I asked for the manager name. Nobody want to give you manager information. She's telling me I should email Casablanca, give me an email address. I should send email to Casablanca, and whoever on the other end who will feel sorry for me maybe to respond to my email, that's where I should file my complaint.
Why is it so important that you get these materials now?
It's important because I came for a short period of time. People came here for 2 weeks. They didn't come here to stay forever. If you come on vacation for 2 weeks, it takes 1 week, 1.5 weeks upwards, because I am not even certain this bag is going to come through tomorrow. I'm saying that because a lady just left from here. A couple of people left from here. 3 weeks, they have not gotten their bags. And this particular thing had a problem a couple of weeks ago. Nobody is addressing it. And I'm calling attention because I want somebody to address it.
I tell you, you listen to her there. It happened, weeks ago. Nobody addressed it. So she had to take the bull by the horn. And we know what happened with Eugene Fagon and Royal Air Morocco.
What about myself?
He had to stand up to them that you cannot treat your passengers like this in Morocco. Yes. And you listen to her deal, Glendy.
And I fought Brussels myself. The same thing. They used to take us across, put us in a bus, and take us to a place where I got no vending machine, nothing. And again, you were here. Even though the people in Montreal, the government officials, they're always busy anyway. They meeting, they're busy. So I don't think they're listening to some of these things.
They're
always busy.
You were honorary consul general. Did you go to Liberia?
Yes, I went on Air Morocco. I went on Air Morocco, and I said this: I will never ever fly Air Morocco, even if they give me free ticket. The disrespect,
first class,
first class, whatever, even in the pilot seat, because you pay your money and they treat you as if you're nobody, and the customer service should be great. I would never fly Air Morocco, even if I would miss my flight and sleep somewhere else. I would stay there, but I'll never fly Air Morocco again because of the behavior. Nobody is there to talk to you, And then guess what? Now you get to Monrovia, it's a totally different thing. Nobody is there to talk to you. Even the manager. Can you imagine? She asked to talk to a manager, and they're even holding the manager information. They don't want to give the manager information. That is why, again, in our country. We should not let foreigners come into our country and be manager of these companies. We need a Liberian to be a manager, to be able to answer this question when these things happen. But in our own country, my brother, I had a situation one time at the airport, and a Nigerian, I missed my flight, and a Nigerian I think it was what the flight name a long time ago. And the Nigerian guy came and stood before me. You guys are not going to go tonight. We're not going to do anything. I said, whoa.
They don't even
You're
care.
not even a Liberian?
Yeah, they don't even care that they should be telling you how.
No, they don't care. Because all of our people have been compromised. They can talk to our government official any way they want to talk to our government official. You got 2 planes or 3 planes coming to the entire country. Who wants Emirates to stop? That would mean that only Brussels coming to the country. So Emirates got a freedom to do what they want to do. So we need more planes coming into the country. We need better systems. Look, I went to collect my bag from the airport. Even the bag, what she's talking about, when the bags come. Maybe because I did crisis management in school, it bothers me. Everybody fighting for bags. I mean, it's like I'm a Liberian and I'm standing like this and looking at the fight. Everybody's fighting for the bag. So I asked the guy, I said, I'm supposed to go fight for my bag too? He said, oh, you better go get your bag. It's just like chaos. White folks are there, investors coming into the country. They got to fight for their own bags. How? We live, and again, the people who are managing these places, they travel.
And they see how the system works.
How hard is it to put a system in place for people to just grab their bags and go? It's total chaos at the Rawa International Airport when you arrive to pick up your bag. And again, because government officials come and pass through VIP,
they don't
care about what's happening in the ordinary section. Then when they leave government and come to this point, they got a problem with it.
Because they have to now face the same thing that the ordinary people are going through.
But even, I mean, I hear the point about foreigners, even Liberians, even us Liberians, we're not courteous. Somebody travel, like the lady is saying, she traveled other country to come and bury her dad. She already has a lot of anxiety built up. And whether there's a foreign person, whether there's Air Morocco is not having that. The office is in Monrovia.
Right.
Is there nobody there who's courteous enough to say, okay, the person who even giving her the email, could they have said to you, okay, let me send an email and inquire?
Yeah.
Or give somebody an email address on a piece of paper. Even Liberians are not courteous enough.
Customer service.
Yes, that's simple. Simple customer service. That's what can I do to help you? I understand you here. You imagine you go home and maybe she hasn't been there for many years. You probably didn't put in your budget to now go and have to buy clothes and buy everything else to use there. And you're in a state of shock. But you have to go and do everything for yourself. I think we have some level of responsibility also as Liberians that work in those situations. It's like, can somebody from our office be a little bit more concerned and say, let's come have a seat. What can I do to help you? Let's work on this together.
Before they'll start giving you bottle of water here first.
Yes.
Can you get a bottle of water, ma'am? Let's talk about this together. And it's like we just lived through that. Somebody from the airport authority should be at that office today. Making sure that it is taking care of. Yeah.
They're doing us a favor. They're not working for us. They're doing us a favor. In fact, when that guy he coming with security, he coming with a lot of
everybody
pushing away and other stuff. So we have to get to the point where we respect each other. The disrespect in our country is so. If you put on coat suit and you dress up well, you get respect.
Thank you.
If you put on short trousers, like one guy told me, a millionaire went to Liberia because he was in short trousers and all that. He got so much disrespect. Nobody knew he was a millionaire. Then he got back on the plane and came here. The guy just went to look to see what he could invest in. But the place was so hot, so he wore short trousers and t-shirt all the time.
Slippers.
Nobody gave him any respect. Question he asked, they just look at him up and down. And then even give him the answers that he needed. So we need to respect each other. Again, it boils down to the culture. It comes from up down. The culture that you want your employees to follow.
It's what you should start.
Things that you want your employees to do. There's no way under the sun that we're looking to invest in our country. There's no way under the sun that we want investors to come to that country. They get to the airport and it looks like that. Not every investor will call government official and say, I'm coming, that will pass through VIP.
To pass through VIP.
Some people want to see what the people will go through when they come. And so they come through the regular channel.
Making sure.
And it's chaotic down there. Again, who's there at night? Is the supervisor there at night to look and see, to fix? No, because I've been to that country many times, and every time I go, the baggage claim is just like chaos. So that means nobody is fixing that situation in the country. And it's important that we do that. So for Air Morocco has been in Liberia like Brussels, right? Brussels and Air Morocco are the two airlines that will be in our country, and we are complacent now that we got 2 airlines. No, we can have 10 airlines coming to that country. We can use Liberia as a hub for West Africa. You know, we got 15 counties, and all of our counties got airport. We can have planes coming in and people going from the counties.
Even your sub-region.
We're looking for money. We say we want money, but we are not innovative enough to create the kind of things that we need to make money. We got 2 planes coming and we contempt. These planes got to go to a different country to refuel. Some of them got to go to different countries before they get repaired. So they're scared to stay in Liberia. You know, if the plane stay in Liberia for long, how much money we making? The plane just touch down and pick up. So we basically not making money. All the food out on the plane, is Liberia providing food for these planes?
For them.
No. So the money just can't go.
I think it's the regulation, because I know every airline must be regulated by the government. Right. So if the government people don't regulate the airlines, look at how many complaints, what's the customer service like, what's the level of treatment, and they feel like, hey, we're doing your we're doing our business. Again, government cannot like every day monitor the activities. So it should be having like a network, right? What is it the complaint like for this week? How can I address this situation? Hey, let's do this thing differently. Also, too, what we need to do, improve our customer service.
So for 3 weeks, like she said, 3 weeks, some people
but that's not the first time.
No press conference, nobody speaking about it. Air Morocco can just call the president and say, yeah, okay, we'll take care of it. Because of what? What are you giving me as a government official that I will just shut my mouth and you treat our citizens?
Yeah, because if she's saying that right now on their flight where luggage is from the 15 or the 18.
What are you
so
giving me?
They're not getting there.
If I'm running the airport, right? What is Air Morocco giving me that I have not addressed this situation? Maybe they are addressing it behind the scene, but equally so, they need to talk to the people who are frustrated.
Yeah, but guess what? It's a business strategy, because every plane they got to do the weight of that plane. So if Air Morocco look and say, okay, we have maybe 200 persons going, it's a lot of money. Right. So can we reduce the baggage, the luggage? So there are a lot of strategies.
They bringing in some
supplies,
other stuff.
So they can do that. Giving them more money, then you suffer your clients.
Yeah, but then you need if the bag system in our way, we call them into a meeting. Sometimes we put them in a hotel, we give them money. They do a lot of stuff here. Yeah. You know, they do a lot of stuff that we can do.
Probably there were people going for their weddings,
but you
their
can't just shut people down. They don't have no manager to talk to. In fact, when I get somewhere and I get something, I want to talk to manager. I want to talk to somebody who's making decisions. Why am I talking to you when you can't make no decision? Yep. Then at my office, there's nobody there that can make decisions. So they leave the Liberian workers there.
They just
low level
customer service representative,
and they're gone. So they have no respect for us as a people.
We hope we can talk to Royal Air Morocco,
and we will
I think Royal Air Morocco is making a serious mistake with Georgette, because Georgette is one.
That's the Opo can say that Glenny Bree.
Sometimes you do until you do the wrong thing to the wrong person.
They have been sued before, and people have won. One or two person won a reward from damages.
Action lawsuit against them.
And
and I know there was another thing we needed to touch
you for
on.
14 hours and take you into Morocco, and 14 hours you just sit there. They put you on a bus, carry you. They take the U.S. citizens
straight to a hotel,
put them into a bus and carry them. So you just an ordinary Liberian. You just sit in that airport for 14 hours.
Wow.
Whereas the U.S. citizen, they move the U.S. citizen into a bus and carry them to a hotel, give each person a room. So the U.S. citizens are fine. I'm sure Georgia had her own room in Morocco.
Morocco. So
Morocco, I'm taking care of them, but that's some of the
only if she's a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, only if she's a U.S. citizen. But those are some of the things that we're saying. We must respect ourselves for other people to respect us, and we must have leaders that will look into the eyes and say, "Look, you're not doing us a favor. This is business.
It's business.
Air Morocco is not doing Liberia a favor. Brussels is not doing Liberia a favor.
You are making more money
out of Liberians than any airline, anytime. Brussels has not reduced their price. So if we got 10 airlines coming to Liberia, the prices will drop. But again, It comes from government. Don't tell me we cannot negotiate for 10 planes to come to Liberia or direct
No,
flight
but no, there's another side to that,
what is the other side?
Because we have the people, the number of people to travel in and out.
The traffic.
We saw how
Liberia can be a hub.
Delta Airline.
The Sierra Leone, the Guinea, the Ivory Coast. Liberia could be a hub.
Yeah. Yes, I know. Many of times when I left Liberia,
exactly.
we were like 15 or 10 on the whole plane with Delta Airline and stuff like that. So I'm like, wow.
They will find a way. They will come to Liberia. They will find a way. They will pick up. They will look at small country like Togo.
Yeah.
Planes are going from Togo and then we get Oscar Airline and go to Ghana.
Even Ethiopia Airline, that's a major Ethiopia Airline. That's a major transit now.
Where's our hub? Which plane? Liberia is the hub.
No.
None.
Nowhere.
But yet,
I know
people say that, listen, we got 580 million. Our budget. The airline thing that got money inside.
We're not tapping into that.
You know how much? You know why our airline fees are high? Look at the taxes.
Yeah.
Look at the taxes. What Liberia charge?
Yeah.
Imagine if you have 5 to 10 planes coming to that country. Liberia, our budget can go to 1 billion. If we're supplying food on the airlines, businesses will make money.
Yeah.
We'll hire people. The only thing they do, they kind of clean the plane quick, they're gone. Are we even refueling these planes? Are we repairing these planes? No.
All right, Glendy, let's hear you. I know you have to go. Let's get your parting comments, and we hope that you will make it on here as often as you can. Once it's already open to you. Whenever you think you want to come on, just jump in with us. We will be glad to have you. But let's hear your parting comments.
So I think it's a good conversation. I think this conversation needs to continue. I think Liberians need to stop sitting on the sidelines and join the discussion about their country. It is our country first. And if we demand how we're supposed to be treated as Liberians and hold our lawmakers accountable, then we can get nothing less than the treatment we deserve. But I think the discussion will continue. And of course, this protest that I've initiated about Musadin will continue. You can rest assured. Yes, you can rest assured that it will continue, I think. And even if President Boyka decides to nominate him, that's fine. I think the time is too rushed because the bench has already been without one person for almost 8 months. I don't understand what the rush. And then also the record, what record would he be running on? What has he done in the past 6 years that we can look up to? Not saying he's not competent. He's not a competent lawyer. But not every good lawyer my daddy just used to say, not all the good lawyers will make a good judge or justice. So what are we going off on to say that he's going to become a good justice? I think he's done, whatever he's done at the Justice Ministry is going to speak out for him. Those people who have not had justice come to their families, some cases have not been properly adjudicated, as the lawyers would say. Those things will stand out for him, and we'll see what he's done. And we will not be silent on this one. We will continue. If I'm the only person writing no every day, I will do that.
And I know when you pick up things the wrong way, it are trouble. So your cousin Musa in trouble with you. Yeah. But Guinea, was good having you here with us. Like Thank I said, it's open to you whenever you want to. You see the discussion, just let us know. We will have you join us. But I wish you all the best. Have yourself a happy new year. I see you next year.
So on 30 seconds, give her one Kolo G-Stock.
G-Stock.
My people, the president going, Joe, we are going. It's time finish. If finish, he going over that Paka coming, we're coming to get on Paka on a boat so we can run behind our Kolo news. When he goes somewhere, if he sleep, we're talking in Kolo, my people. Yeah.
We're not G putting for what?
For G-Stock. For G-Stock this studio. Okay, buddy, have yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, have yourself a wonderful rest of the
week. Brother, Susie, bottle.
Yeah, but I mean, there are a couple of comments here. I see Emmanuel Bro is writing. Ebro says he's writing from the George Floyd Memorial Square here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Emmanuel, we're right here in Brooklyn Center. You need to swing by, my man. You need to swing by to see where we sit. Steven Sly, he said, with the airline, I'd rather fight harder to go with a better airline than that don't care airline. That his own view. And a lot of people got, bad experience with Royal Air Morocco. And
the whole Liberia load, I just
Mhm.
feel what the people did. Everybody just do all favor.
Mhm.
Even if you hear Liberian talking, our international partners, what do you think when they're asking international partners? That just
Favor.
It's like, look, it's time for us to look at our natural resources and make good for our country. It's time for us to start begging and begging and begging. And even when we beg and the people give us, we do nothing with it because we are not vested. If somebody just keep giving you something that you don't even know how to work for, you
misuse it.
You misuse it. You do it any way you want to do it, and that has been our country. So my take is, in this coming administration, our public servant must understand that they are public servants. We pay their salaries. We put food on the children tables. We send the children to school. They're not doing us a favor.
Favor is not fair.
Favor is not fair to us. They must work in the interest of the Liberian people. And that has been our problem. We fear these people for nothing. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to do things because we fear, if you talk, you will go to jail. If you talk, they will kill you. If you talk, you will do this. My brother, this country for all of us. This country is for all of us. No one person, no one Liberian is better than the other. Or no one Liberian is more Liberian than the other. So we can't sit down and say we are afraid until we perish.
So people will
what makes somebody who the chief of police in Liberia different from me?
Mm-hmm.
He goes home, he got children, he got family. So you think you can just harm me and just go free because you're the chief of police?
No way. The only difference is he's appointed by.
You're appointed and you're in authority, but doesn't mean that all of your family appointed.
No.
So we gotta get to the point where we are men.
Yeah. And Emmanuel says, guys,
you can't just scare somebody because if we just in a situation where we just afraid they will kill us.
Mm-hmm. And Emmanuel Brofoto says, guys, I foresee that the Liberian Senate will eventually confirm Councillor Musa.
If we get there, I mean, there's nothing to hold it.
Justice of the Supreme Court is a foregone conclusion that he would definitely be confirmed. Don't you think that this assurance has already been given the president by members of this?
I think so.
Senate?
I mean, the president will not nominate if he's not. So I'm hoping that the Senate will see sense in it and push it down. I think. What is the fear? Wouldn't he go through in the next legislature? You don't think so?
I don't think so.
So you think that's the fear?
I'm thinking so.
So
people feel that he's not,
if he's capable and he's got good records, he shouldn't be afraid.
So that could probably be something that, Mr. President, make the nomination. We have the numbers. We can confirm him.
I think so. I think that's it. That's it. I mean, I think that's
But our senators must have the balls. There must be people with knowledge. There must be people with impeachable character. And
no, they're not there.
That's what I'm saying.
They must just have the common sense. Let's forget about all of the other things because 11 senators were kicked out, right?
And if
the Liberian people say we don't want you,
if that hits the floor, that will be their final, voting process in the Liberian Senate.
Correct.
They could literally,
and that's why I made a statement. When you're in Congress, everything you do, we're not going to hold you for it, but what you did also. So why are you voting for this? Remember, it's not a CDC government anymore. We have a new justice minister. Maybe your case might not even go to the Supreme Court. It's not a threat. It's not a threat. But what I'm saying is we can just have people doing things and not taking the country interest at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong.
Maybe the judge can promise them jobs.
Musa Dean capable, yes. But let's go back to Musa Dean record. Musa Dean, what have you done over the last 6 years? How many cases as the chief of police, as the chief of national security, as
fire service honor you,
everything honor
immigration honor you?
Yeah, we just have people buying.
Yeah,
they other people. The people that are buying. We didn't see no fire truck. We didn't see no extinguisher.
We didn't still playing checker at that fire service station.
This is the man that we're going to put.
Even he and Serena Seafor had issues. Serena Seafor raised several issues against him.
So this is the guy we're going to put on the Supreme Court bench. For me, Jackson George.
Who has issues? Almost everybody.
y'all Liberian people don't know how this man gonna perform, that's good for y'all. But we can profile, we can look at things that he's done and say, if you give this guy the job, this is how he's gonna perform. So, I mean,
and guys, we're running out of time.
We have senators and representatives. Those senators got to look at it and make their own decisions as a person, and look at it for the future and say, did I make the right decision?
So let's go into your own organization. Let's go into the Rock Business Association.
That's fair enough,
No, but in a nutshell, we have like 8 minutes to go. In a nutshell, just give us the overview of LIBA this year. What was it like?
The year we, like I said, when COVID came and hit, we transformed LIBA into a more business development kind of an organization. What we're looking forward to now, I mean, with 267 members, we all over the United States. I just came back from Iowa, trying to organize the business community in Iowa, to have the Iowa business community to organize themselves and develop their businesses. So I think this 2003 we've been very quiet. We've done some things. We worked with the Brooklyn Park to get the small business center. There was some politics involved, and we got out of the deal for the small business center. But we did a lot of work to get a small business center going. We work with the county, Hennepin County, with the Blue Line project. We still contracted with them to do some work for them for the Blue Line, which you guys did the video. We were able to do a partner with Chase Bank, JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank in the United States, to do some business development training for small and micro businesses. We've been able to link a lot of our businesses to different opportunities. So we were a networking organization. We continue to network like we did last night. Had a networking. It was a very good meeting. We met some decent people. And so we'll continue to do that. 2024, what we intend to do is to continue to develop craft training workshop to help small and micro businesses, but we want to also pay attention to our homeland, to Liberia. How can we come together, form corporations, and take it to Liberia? Look, if you went into the southeastern region, you have all these foreigners mining our gold and diamonds. So why can't we come together, 10 of us come together, pull our resources, and go carry our company as well? Why are we always just lackadaisical? We just sit down, we're just complacent. And the best part of our country is going, and we just sit down. It's like we're on the banks of the river and washing our hands with spit. So LIBA going to be mostly involved in Liberia as well, looking at business opportunities for Liberians in the diaspora to be able to do. But we must grow. We must start to build generational wealth. I think we've come to the point where these smaller businesses, we in the same state for so long. Like I always say, now we got a dry cleaner here. We have a major shipping line. We got Liberian shipping. We got a major shipping line. We got a liquor store. We got a lot of healthcare companies. We got KMTV. We got major cleaning companies. We got brokers, insurance agents,
taxes.
We got taxes. We're just not into the bigger business, the gas station, the hotels, the commercial property, us owning commercial property. So we want to be able to do that. Another thing that we'll be fighting, working with our small businesses, it's time for us to let a business work for us. Most of our small businesses cannot even leave the business to travel because they are doing all of the work. We got to start looking at partnershiping, where we can come together, partner and work together, where we can let a business work, build systems. If you heard the guy last night, he said he can go anywhere and he does his business. So we need to be able to put systems in place where we can walk away from our business. I always tell people, I said, like the partnership with Frank and myself at the store. I can go to Liberia and care less about the store. Frank is here. He's run the store. But can both of us go to Liberia and still do it? Yes, we could. That's one business that I think that we have, that we are not hands-on, that we don't have to be in the store to work because we have employees, we have a system. Do we need a better system? Yes, but we have a system in place that the store can work itself. So that's the mindset I want Liberians to look at and to get involved in. So 2024 would be a great year for us. We're looking at business development. We're looking at expanding into all of the different states, Canada and everywhere, so that we can pull our resources to help our homeland, because we do not even have a major business in Liberia. I mean, I'm partnered with Signal Technology down there, but we need more Liberians to go home, partner together, and do some of these things like I talk about. Or mining gold and diamond, we can do that. The energy sector, we should be able to get into the energy sector. We should be able to get into major shipment, the building materials. We need to get involved. If you go to Liberia, the major building material stores are all foreign owned. Now, the country is gradually developing, right? And a major business of this nature, building material. There's a Liberian who opened up a building material store. We need to support this building material store in Liberia. There are a couple of Liberians with building material store. We need to intentionally support Liberian businesses as well. I don't have a problem with foreign investment in Liberia, but if Liberians are beginning to do it, then let's support them so that they can grow and develop. Again, it comes down to customer service. It comes down to confidentiality. It comes down to all these things. But Bob, let me tell you still, the Lebanese talk too. It's just that they're not talking in our community. So we just got to understand how we do business and reduce some of this talk that we talk so that business can work well. But I think one of the problems that we've had is always Liberians standing in front of Liberian to make sure that Liberians do not succeed. They make life difficult for a Liberian. It's easy for a foreigner to come from Lebanon today and own a business. You see the guy come from Lebanon, he already in the store. But how difficult they make it for us Liberian. Access to capital in Liberia. The interest rate is too high for businesses in Liberia, and then you go get the loan. It is supposed to give you $15,000 or $35,000. The man who processing the loan won $5,000 out of the loan. Why should I take 30,000? I wanted 35. You gave me 30.
Then I give you 5 as kickback.
Yeah, then I should pay 45 back. It doesn't make sense. So these are some of the things that we want to be fighting for. The liberalization policy, where we have 26 products that only Liberians should have. The law is there. Has the law been enforced? No. The law has not been enforced because we got people fronting for these foreign businesses. So you see Chinese men selling ice, you see Lebanese men selling water, you see then the same man who is a wholesaler is a retailer. These things should not happen in our country, so that we can open up the market so that people, if you're a wholesaler, you should not be involved in the retail.
There are certain things that you shouldn't be into.
So we are hoping that this new government will enforce it. One of the things that we're hoping for, we have Liba Liberia down there. Liba Liberia was created by Act of National Legislature. They've never had a budget to focus on small and macro businesses. We can do some of these things.
And I just thought to roll in this video with Americon. I see, as you listened to him the other day, talking about how Liberian businesses can make an impact, encouraging and riding with the local people in making sure that this can work. Let's listen to this excerpt. He commented on where he called the focal point of our country. What do we see there? And that was strong enough for me, I think.
You pick the growth corridor. Our primary growth corridor from Monrovia to Ganta, about 60% of our population live there, Monrovia to Bikina. That triangle. Frame it in your head. Monrovia, Ganta, Yekipa. Yekipa, Bikina on the train track. Bikina, Monrovia. It's a triangle there. You got paved roads. You got electricity. You got rail. You got port, you got 3D. 5 critical infrastructure there, but not you don't have factories there. Besides getting new rubber plant. And that is why I said to somebody, the executive order to limit the exportation of raw rubber out of Liberia by President Weah is a good executive order. Because it forces adding value into the country, that is, company that puts money to build it there. I don't care who has share in it at this point, but it's a private company, and we should make sure that it's there. We need to do more of that for cassava processing, for this and that.
So that's where now the diaspora business sector can look into and tap. When will we start a company that we can import maybe Gary? You know how much Gary make in this country? Cassava.
The Minnesota did $1 billion in African food industry. The African food industry is $1 billion industry. And none of these things are coming from Liberia. Most of them are not coming from Liberia.
When last were you in Hy-Vee? You know, Hy-Vee got an African aisle.
There you go.
Where you have African food. Yeah, Hy-Vee.
Well, we got, I think, James Nicola is distributing to Hy-Vee.
Yeah. So
as well.
There are a lot of things.
Most of the stuff they don't come from Liberia. They come from Ghana, other places. I understand there's a Liberian in Ghana are doing the palm butter too. So, you know, we're doing well. We try, right? And I agree with Amara that the corridor down there, you know, but look at it again. Let's say you're doing business. You're going to Liberia for 3 days. Your suitcase is still
stay in Morocco.
Your suitcase stay in Morocco. You get to the airport, it's chaotic. It take us almost 18 hours from here to get to Liberia.
And you already beat up.
Sitting there in transit for almost 10 hours, 4 to 6 hours in transit, or maybe more. How many times you think you want to go home, Cyrus? We have, look, the entire system, we have to make this system work for us to develop. We're talking about putting manufacturing plant. Jetty, that manufacturing plant that Jetty puts in there, he's going to use generator most of the time. That the cost going to be high. And I'm hoping that the moratorium they put on rubber does it affect Firestone?
It does.
So Firestone is not going to ship rubber.
So now it will force Firestone hands to open it a manufacturing.
Exactly.
So
that's a good
processing plant in Liberia as well.
It is, but again, you know, the politics behind this is there. We have 6 years to do this. We're doing it at this point when Firestone has muscles, right? Firestone has teeth. Firestone got muscles. Firestone got invisible hands. So in the last day when I'm leaving, I do that. Would it really work?
I mean, it's left now with
it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong. But maybe had he done this earlier, but I think Jetty just created.
So there is a
need now.
With that structure in place.
I agree, and so
it can be processed.
I can understand the
value can be added to our rubber. So there is no need
to not there
allow
before
you.
In the last 6 years, and no reason why the president will put
have done it. Yeah.
When there's no factory. Now
So
that we have a factory.
Now
So I can understand
Firestone,
that,
they have a huge competitor.
Again with Firestone got a huge competitor, but Firestone too was Firestone building their own value added.
They will have to make it work now.
So they will have to make it work. But remember, this is business. So Firestone now going to take all your letters and sit down for the next 2 years to build its factory. You know, so there has to be a way coming. There has to be a way to work with Firestone, which is the largest rubber plantation the second largest plantation in the world. You have to give Firestone some leeway, because Firestone now got to build its own infrastructure to meet this executive order. Again, it's an executive order that can be reversed.
It can be reversed.
You know, but I think Firestone, with its muscle and teeth, this new incoming administration will have to deal with how they call it, Brickstone, which is the mother company. You know, and which is an American-owned company as well. You know, so that's why I'm asking this question. But I can see the sense in
why he's
put a moratorium on the shipping of our rubber.
Guys, we need to cut it.
But again, my brother, in closing, I think the incoming administration, if I were to advise the president-elect, I would ask him to put his minister in a room,
lock them up,
and ask them, are you willing to serve the Liberian people, or you prefer to do them a favor? The ones that say they stay in the favor mode, then you can't work for me. Because no more you will be coming as minister. Everybody stop. You get in the elevator take 11 person.
Only you and your two bodyguards.
Only you and your two bodyguards, plus another 9 person against that. When you get upstairs, you got that big office, it's yours. The other people not following you. No more will you come somewhere and everybody, you know, we have to understand that you're public servant. If we have that mindset that we are public servant, Cyrus, it will change the way we do things. You even meet a minister in public, the way they behave, like they're different from you. We know you got the status, but don't behave differently.
At least after January 22nd, they will all behave now like normal people.
I'm hoping that they do. You know, it's a sad thing. You get to Liberia, everybody busy. Look, even the people that are your friends that in government, you get to Liberia, you call some of these people, they're busy. Sometimes I wonder they're busy doing what?
Nothing.
We who busy in a country where you got to go to work, you on the clock. They come. We leave our jobs. We leave our businesses. We take them to restaurants.
Leave our families.
We leave our families. We put them into our vehicles. We drive them all over. When you get to Monrovia,
they don't return you there.
They want you to go and see them. When they come here, we gotta go pick them up. When they can rent, they can go to the car rental company from the airport and rent cars. But we gotta go pick them up. And we get to Liberia, look at what they do to us. Just to pick up the phone and talk to you.
Yeah. They can't do it.
They are so busy. So our mindset, this is something that we all have to change as a people. That is why I don't worry when people come here anymore to say I running to go see why, because I always Morel, I go to there, you don't see me.
You don't see me.
So why should I run to see you here? It doesn't make sense.
So it's the final show of the year, guys. It's been a wonderful year. Filled up.
Yeah, I think you need to get a female on this.
On this part. We've tried. We've tried. We just gotta keep trying.
We brought on Joanne Prowse, but because of busy schedule, she's in and
she's here to balance between work, school, and family, and what we do.
To sit on this platform, but it's also a blessing to be able to share your thoughts. And I think my fight is that the Liberian people should begin to understand that nobody in government is doing us a favor. They get paid for the work that they do. It's just like you go to work,
they are paid with your taxpayers' money.
Paid with our taxpayer dollars. And I think that one of the disconnect in our country, we feel that these people are semi-gods. They are different from us and other stuff. The liquor you buy on the table, that my money, I give it to you. The restaurant you're sitting in, that my money, that I give it to you. So when you see me, don't act like you something big. I respect your title, I respect your position, but don't behave like you
some extra.
It's the more business we bring, the more money you make.
The more money you make.
And you're stopping us from doing business.
And that's one thing we will push for. Doing business in Liberia has to get better in the years to come. I mean, beginning with
you see a Liberian struggling to get something, and the foreigners will just come and get it easily. Easily. I've never seen a country where we don't care about ourselves. Look, if a foreigner, it's easier for us to give a foreigner a room to sleep in than to give a Liberian room to sleep in.
Yeah. So CN Pan says, so you're telling us that those that are coming will be different.
They should be.
Because
they should be.
That's what the public
push
for.
If they are not different, we'll continue to talk.
Every 6 years we'll change them.
Yes.
We'll keep making the noise.
We'll keep making the noise until some of them become public servants.
Mm-hmm.
Who money you think they're using to put food on the table?
It's our money. It's our
who money they're using to send the children to Ghana? Why all the children staying at JFK?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who money they using to send the children to private schools?
Why the government?
You don't have to work. You don't have to work for government. You have money. You can do all of those things. I'm not saying it's bad to do. You can do all of those things, but why are you doing those things with our money? When you see us, at least respect us.
Respect, yeah. So guys, we have to go. Nathan, let's wrap it up. Let's hear.
Well, it's been a good year. 2023 started out with Reverend Dr. Francis Tapla, and when he launched his book, brought his book at our Diaspora Talk, we had a discussion with him. It's not any out with Mr. Jackson George, who's talking about business and breeding more businesses and investing into Liberia. We have given the platform to a lot of other Liberians who have come here to share their thoughts from security, business. So it has been a learning curve for me. For every guest we had, every comment I read on there,
there's a takeaway.
Okay. So that's one of the things I took from this year, and it has also helped to build me professionally and in the business sector. So we say thanks to all of our viewers out there who've been supporting the network. I know some people in Liberia and other parts of the world burning the data, to watch us and just to listen to what we've been saying. Some people have been having a positive impact. And again, yes, year end is neither an end nor a beginning, but a going on with all the wisdom that experience can instill in us. So as we move on to 2024, we need to have new vision, go in your room, write down your vision, write down your plan, and work towards it. There are some things you will not achieve. Do not beat yourself on the Let's have new perception of Liberia and our government officials in and outgoing government officials. It is upon us to keep our country peaceful. Our people are hungry. Our people are lacking job. Let us ensure that, hey, we do the best thing to support them. Our Christian community, let us keep speaking the truth and don't take side. That the families of those who died or those who are on critical condition, from Tututa to Kakata accident to Somalia drive and all across Liberia. We say, take solace in the Lord. We ask that support be provided to you. For those who lost their relatives during the course of this year, we say, have our sympathy, regain hope. And that Diaspora Talk will be here next year, very strong. We'll be going into your communities and visiting all parts of the US and other countries as well.
And I say right there, that's it from Nathan Charles there. He's the one of the lead presenters here of Diaspora Talk. And Jackson George, you heard him earlier. Jackson, thanks for being available to join us on the platform as well. Your business has been a huge support to this network. We appreciate you in this public manner. And on behalf of the entire team, I'd like to wish you all of the best. Thanks for being there, our wonderful, wonderful viewers and followers, the KMTV Liberia, KMTV USA. We are so much appreciated. If we're looking to have more new additions to what we do here, every way we can make it better, we're thinking on that. And you have the right to tell us, we want you to do this, make this better for us. Thanks for your support. Until next year, Diaspora Talk will be here next year. But we hope that we can get out there sometime this weekend, to sample some views. Those of you in our Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center area, maybe tomorrow we can roll the cameras out there to see, what's your own perception about the year, what you're thinking about going into the new year. We are thinking on rolling out the cameras out there. Don't be surprised to see Jackson George doing some leave questioning era. But until then, have yourself a God bless weekend. I see you when I see you. Thanks for being there, and do have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day and the weekend that is about to hit us so hard and wonderful. Let's leave you with this. The Park Liquor Outlet, our business partner here, will take us home. Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or ride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.